why do you do what you do? Why does anyone do what they do? I mean, this is a really odd thing. Sometimes we're yelling at people even though we know better. Sometimes kids are acting out. Sometimes we're overjoyed. Sometimes we cry or get emotional in weird situations. So what is going on? Why do we do what we do? What decides our actions? How do we make decisions? How do we move in certain directions or run away from certain things? Why do we act radically? Why do we get into relationships we shouldn't be in? All of that kind of stuff. I'm going to give you a really, really brief understanding. Now listen, this is a complex subject. There are lots of factors. I'll give you a few ideas here this morning. If you want more, feel free to comment, ask me, and we'll go into that. But I want to start off with a quote here. This is by Sir Thomas Browne, okay? I don't even know who that is, but it's a fantastic quote, so I'm going to research who he is as soon as I'm done here. He said, "We live by intervals of reason under the sovereignty of humor and passion." I'm going to read that again. We live by intervals of reason. There are short periods of times when we're logical creatures. Under the sovereignty of humor and passion. Usually we're run by our emotions. That's what it says, and that's absolutely accurate, okay? Every once in a while we're logical. Most of the time we're not. Most of the time we're making decisions. Okay, now listen, we can live with logic in a large areas of our life, but usually we're making decisions emotionally, and that's the most important thing that I'm talking about right now, okay? So, like, no action is random. No action that you take is random, no matter how random it seems, no matter how random someone else is doing something. This helps so much with your partner, your spouse, your kids, your parents, people around you, colleagues, employees, employers. Everyone is acting not logically, but not randomly, okay? Everything has a reason. Now, the reason is twofold. We are always, in all of our actions, running away from things that are painful, things that are uncomfortable, and we're running toward things that are comfortable, things that are enjoyable, things that are exciting, okay? Now, a lot of people explain this by pain and pleasure. We run away from pain, we run towards pleasure, and that's a great way of understanding it, okay? Now listen, the connection between our actions and what is pain or pleasure is not always clear. It's difficult sometimes. My 6-year-old yesterday had a couple of things that were going on. We had guests over for a little while, and he was acting crazy for a little while. He's excited. He was acting all nuts. He was punching me in the stomach and jumping on me and jumping on the couches, which I mean, it happens at home every once in a while, but he's not normally like that in this situation. What was going on? He was emotional. He wasn't emotional. Emotions were coming up in him. He didn't know exactly how to deal with them. He's 6 years old, but you know what? If we spent enough time with trying to understand that situation, I could give you a really clear description of what's going on with him, okay? And this is the same with all of us. Why do you argue with somebody or fight somebody or say some mean things to somebody you love, even though you know better? Well, here's my guess, okay? My guess is that you probably are feeling defensive. You're probably feeling hurt, lonely, angry, tired, something like that, and that you're reacting to that. You have a strong reaction. Again, the connection isn't always clear, but you're having a strong reaction to something that you're feeling, okay? And I'm going to give you a little acronym here to help you understand times where you're going to be acting out in odd ways more. The acronym is HALT, H-A-L-T, and it's associated with 4 different emotional states: hungry, angry, lonely, tired. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired. When we're hungry, we don't feel safe in some ways, and our emotions kind of go nuts a little bit at times, and our reactions to those emotions go nuts. Angry, lonely, tired. We all know that, right? So I want you to ask yourself, if you're acting irrationally, if you're doing weird things, ask yourself, am I hungry, angry, lonely, tired? Okay. We're not logical creatures. We're emotional creatures, and that's really important to pay attention to. So even if you don't believe you have emotions, even if you don't believe that you are connected to your emotions or that they don't exist, if you believe you're Spock, you're not. Most of you that are watching this are not a psychopath or sociopath, and even you who are psychopaths and sociopaths, if we spend enough time together, we'd figure out that you've got passions and emotions as well. So what I want you to take away from this, and maybe I'll give you some action steps here. What I want you to take away with is you are an emotional creature. And that's not a bad thing. It's not good or bad. It simply is the way it is. And what I want you to do with that is start paying attention to your emotions. The more you pay attention to your emotions, not run away from them. Most of us in North America learn that emotions are this dangerous thing that we need to run away from. You don't need to run away from them. Get to know them. As you get to know them, You don't have to fear them any longer. You'll pay attention to them, and you'll understand why you're doing what you're doing anymore, more and more often. Here are a couple of really unique ways that this helps. Think about the sales process. The last time you bought something on a whim, emotionally, and you're like, why did I buy that? It was emotional. You were either running away from a painful emotion or running towards an emotion that you desire, okay? We buy emotions. We buy emotional states. We buy to feel a certain way. We don't buy to logically gain things most of the time, all right? So start paying attention to your emotions. I've got a great activity for this. Maybe I'll post it somewhere. I'll figure out how to post a link to this, okay? Or put it up on my webpage. But yeah, I'll do that after I'm back from Maui. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time doing other stuff. My daughter's laying on a couch here right now. She woke up early, and I want to hang out here with her for a little bit. So enjoy this. Pay attention to your emotions. If you have questions or comments, put them in the comment box, and we'll figure them out. All right.